we agree that we wanna just invite, we can
invite?
open the invitation, but we actually talked about that in open
Yeah.
session already. We agreed we wanted them to
We'd
send
like
the
to
invitation.
have them, but it's you, I don't think we're gonna be able to make the same date, remember? I mean,
Well,
we have to have
there's
another-
no harm in asking.
Yeah, but if we could go on our own time of no more than 3, just like we looked at the invoices, and we be sure that we stay off council topics, and we go into their office, and obviously I myself would call and make an appointment and let them know I'm with the City Council of Oakridge, and I'm just coming in to just talk to them. Maybe Bobby and Dawn, or whoever 3 of us or 2 of us could go together very simply.
Yes.
Because everything Bobby's saying is right on the money about learning about their staff and their law clerks, and that'll save us actually in our fees.
I think the more important thing I would like to know is how did the cities that they serve feel about their attorneys?
Have you checked that?
That's why I just asked.
No, but that's why we've had this document for that whole week.
They've listed their references, and so as we interview them, those would be some questions to ask. That's the time.
So what if we put a deadline? So if counselors want to go interview on their own, under a quorum,
So
and
I have a
interview.
question, is that even appropriate?
Or
Yes.
Is there any
can we do that?
I know you believe it is, but I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
You know, is it appropriate, and is there anything that we might run into that we might be stepping over the line? I don't wanna get us in trouble.
I don't think it's inappropriate,
Okay.
and obviously as long as it's not a quorum.
Right.
I just remind you, you have Thursday night, January 17th, you have a work session February 7th, and then your next regular council meeting on February 21st. So do you want to consider making your attorney decision on February 21st? Which means you need to have all this done before then,
Yeah.
the week
Yeah.
before.
So can we direct the city administrator to call the other attorneys and see if they're available the 17th, and if they're not available, can we quickly set up a time for them to come
I
as
thought that
well?
was done in the last
It
meeting.
was,
No.
so,
It was done in the last meeting that we had council meeting.
That's what I understand.
and we wanted to wait until after this meeting to determine what you all wanted to do. So, the other question I had, and I'm gonna ask Gary Pearl, do you know if any references were called on the, when you met as a subcommittee? Were any of the references called?
No. I asked James Affa to call a managing partner of each one of the firms that we had selected. And the selection committee was Judy, James Affa, myself, and Louis. And we selected 7 firms. And I asked James to follow up with the managing partner of each one of those firms to make sure that the firms had received the RFP.
Oh, okay. You were looking
And,
to see
and
who-
3 of them had not received the RFP. And that's, when I brought that up to Louis, he was insulted and said that he personally sent them out, and by golly, they got them. And I said, well, that may be, but
So
would you
we
please
still-
send them again? And so he did send them again. And we checked again and made sure that all the firms did in fact receive them.
Okay.
And then one firm, and I don't know which one, got their RFP back one day late, and Louis wanted to exclude them.
Right.
And I thought that was really wrong, because they hadn't gotten them in the first place, at least they said they hadn't. And so then Louis, the council said, let's hear from all 4 of them.
I believe one of the people that we didn't send an RFP to was Elcog.
We don't have on here.
Right. They did not sell.
We didn't send them to Elcog at all, and they are more than willing to be our attorney.
Yeah, but
Maybe,
Can we just send an RFP out to Elcog too, and invite a response?
that's late.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't work because we've already passed that deadline.
Okay.
Besides, if they're not a law firm.
And we have to reopen the RFP process to do that.
Well, because it was an invitation RFP, it wasn't just a general posted, anybody can apply. Could we not add them to the list?
I don't have it in front of me, I just want to see if there was a. So there's a deadline for submission of proposals was 5 PM Wednesday, November 7th. You know, often, especially if you're doing personnel, you just say positions open until filled, but this is
Right.
pretty definite, so probably be safe, you wanna do RFPs again.
We would have to re-ask for RFPs, which I hate to do, only because, it just seems we don't need to do it. But there is any way we can ask for an RFP from LCOG and invite them to submit?
I could call them tomorrow and ask them.
Okay. I just think that would be a good idea, we'd have more to compare, as well as, and then as far as these references, I'm willing to call about references,
Me as well.
and you as well. And I'm just surprised that we didn't call any of the references.
I'm curious, what was the grading process, since all of us were not involved in that? What was the process in which these were graded? How did these two get chosen on that?
There was a cover sheet, I may have a copy of it, I mean,
Because I don't believe
it
I
was a
got,
matrix with,
I don't believe I got the scoring process in my packet. Did anybody else? Did you? Yeah, so I was curious about that, because normally in my experience, when you get an RFP, you grade it. So,
Yeah, and you do it by the criteria that you put out for evaluating, so, and then we can call this a failed search and start all over.
Maybe sometimes it's better.
if we did that, I am wondering, if we did a new RFP process, maybe we should consider having an interim attorney, like James had, Gary had suggested a couple months ago, having an interim attorney while you do a long process. That was actually his original, was his, if everyone remembers that.
That would involve terminating the contract we have,
Having an interim, and I believe
getting
he
an
had,
interim, and during that time, putting out an RFP for, and then, to the ones that we select, not just a general RFP.
well, I don't know that.
Okay,
Raise his hand up.
Mr. Messina might be with us. Can we use temporary, could we use the city, or the LCOG's attorney and remove the one we have now?
I think you probably could.
We can,
See, so
They can
maybe
do
that,
temporary
for
services too.
right, temporary till we can find an attorney
and
that fits us.
and I believe one of the attorneys that we have here also said that they'd be
They do.
willing to do temporary for us. I have no problem with Gary, did you have
I
something
did
specific?
just want to offer that asking for new RFPs is a tremendously bad idea, in my opinion,
Okay,
because there's a lot of work and time that goes into that, and you've already asked for firms to do it, and they have. And so if you want more information from another firm or LCOG, just ask them,
okay,
Right,
rather than ask everybody to redo.
okay.
right, I think
And-
LCOG is.
and As far as an interim goes, I think that's also a bad idea, because you have to get somebody, I mean, if you're gonna have an interim attorney, okay, but you have to get somebody on board that you can bring up to speed pretty quickly in case you have a bully complaint, or unless you have, who knows what could happen. You have some real estate transactions imminent, you wanna have an attorney on board that can help you do that, and, bite the bullet and do it.
So how can we do the LCOG thing again? How can we?
Well, I don't know.
Just send it out.
Mr. Messina said he could call and invite them to submit. But their, LCOG is Lane Council of Governments, it's not a law firm, they have attorneys on staff, but, whatever you want, but I would want a law firm, but not.
Yes.
You would have to.
Sandy worked
Yeah.
for us.
She works for us.
Senior Disability Services is under LCOG,
Oh, okay.
and so is the city.
I really do wish we had an RFP in here from LCOG. That is.
Ask them for it. If they want to, they might do it.
Sorry.
I was just wondering if you could amend the original RFP and extend the deadline?
And then so those that have already applied to it wouldn't be asked to put together
basically extend the, it'll take longer for us to get a lawyer, you know. Even though these guys are coming on Thursday, get the other ones and make another date, or maybe 2 more firms come at a time, or, you know, and talk to them, and meanwhile, we can go down there and, you know, or narrow it down like before, and then go visit them.
With the hope that we'll have an attorney by the end of February,
Yep, first, yeah,
or later than that,
maybe 1st of March.
So
and
when,
continue to keep the attorney that we have.
Well, we can't, I mean, we just can't be without an attorney, you know?
so when the other RFPs went out, how long did it take to get them back? Does anybody know?
Well, we gave them a certain amount of time, we gave them.
But how long did it take for them to respond? I'm
They
just
had to
asking.
respond by a certain time.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but I'm asking because we're thinking about amending the RFP, and I don't think we want to put a date in if that's what we do. But we have a short time frame that we want to get this accomplished by. So how long can we expect before we're getting a response?
So if we gave them 30 days, it would put us way past at the end of February.
Yeah.
To do that, so that probably isn't gonna suit, at least I don't believe it would suit our purposes. I don't wanna wait that long to get this done. I think it needs to be done sooner than that. We need to move forward. We have a lot of other things that we need to be dealing with and not this. Not that this isn't important. I know it's important. And I wanna make light of that. So, see, I think we asked that we have Mr. Messina call the other 2 firms and see if they can
See if
attend,
they can attend Thursday night.
and also call Elcott and see if they would like to submit an RFP quickly, if they can.
Yeah, sooner the better, because, you know, like, March, even April.
We can ask, and we're not gonna amend the RFP.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no reason to amend it.
Just
But we can ask Mr. Messina
Speak up, I
to
can
do those.
barely hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and you're sitting right here, I'm getting lower and lower, that we asked Mr. Messina to go ahead and make those calls to the 2 firms that we haven't scheduled, to see if they would like to attend also, as well as reach out to Elcott to see if they are interested in providing attorney services. Kind of where we're at. Yeah?
What do you think, Paula?
I'm waiting for you.
I
wanna
just,
Will you have,
I'm trying to roll it around a little bit because I'm just
Exactly.
looking at some of the timeframes we're setting and wondering how that's really going to fit in.
well, I think if you could have a phone call conversation with Elcott and explain that, you know, we really are interested in considering them, and that we have a time of a quick turnaround, to consider them. If they would like to submit, that's fine.
And if not,
And if not, then that's fine too, and we won't, you know. But that, I think we've kind of done that. I think it's a good thing. I was shocked at how much paperwork we got from all the attorneys explaining to me how good they are and wonderful things. Oh, references.
yes.
So,
We need to determine what questions we'll ask if we're gonna call on references. And use the same questions for each attorney. So perhaps we can ask a couple of the counselors to put together a list of questions that seem appropriate. And I'd like to get this done as soon as we can, so those reference questions, because we need to call the references of those that are coming to see us, which I think is odd that we haven't already.
Yeah, by Thursday, that'll be.
Mayor, if I can,
Yeah.
I think it's also very important that council come Thursday night with questions for the firms that are giving the presentations.
exactly.
There's a lot of been discussion over the billing and over this general legal services. Those are the people that you need to be asking some of these questions about. So be prepared to ask questions. I told them they had a few minutes for a presentation, tell us about your firm, tell us about your municipal experience, and be ready to answer questions.
Okay. Is it wise, you think, for council to all send questions to you that we have? That we will have a list of them, or should we just all formulate our own
I think
and
it's
just ask?
just ask your questions.
Okay,
Also on that same night,
yeah. No, go ahead.
also on that same night, isn't the engineer gonna be there?
City engineer.
And I think it's real important for all of these counselors that's gonna be there to ask some questions about the engineer. And when you look at the budget, everything that you got, I understand, everything I look at is the budget. I put the budget hat on, being on the budget committee for so many years. And so when I look at the budget and I see how much money's been spent, and where did it go, and what do we got for what we spent.
Mhm.
And that's why, to me, as an engineer we have, which, and I hate to bring it up, that's a history. I watched him in the library, you know, and I watched the situation, we had problems with the library, what was going on with the engineer. And then I look at the road down there when we did that, and I see problems, and then in reading stuff that I see in the billing, where I see all the billing about Salmon Creek and how much money we spent underneath the river, which there's a lot of questions to be asked. And I know it's a lot for this council to understand what there is going on, but somebody needs to do some homework and figure out the real problems that we have with our water and where it comes from, all the money that went to this engineer. And that's very, very important to me.
So the engineer is coming not to defend his position, but he is coming to talk to us about the current projects.
Right.
About the current projects that we have going, so that we can all gain an understanding of what the city is moving forward with, how the city engineer works with all of that, and get a beginning and we are not gonna learn all of this at one time. So we have to take it step by step, and I think the first step is to understand what the city is involved in right now, what the city engineer is working on and how he works on it. Ask what the timeline is for those projects that are currently moving forward, and then of course, ask about the overages or anything else that we need to. Determining whether or not our city engineer is the right fit for us right now, and may not be the conversation we want to have this. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have the conversation, but maybe not this next meeting.
Maybe if enough points were brought, maybe that can be tabled before we do these decisions with that engineer.
Well, we're not making any decisions with the engineer
Not here, I
on
know what you
the
mean.
17th.
Right, but we're gonna hear what he has to say, correct?
Yes, we're gonna hear
Okay.
what he has to say about the projects that are
That
ongoing.
he's doing. So, in his
Right.
projects, I've had another engineer on my own, a state engineer. I look at some of the projects that the city has, and I would like to go with you, or with Messina, or anybody, and we need to listen to it's not gonna cost us anything to listen to this other engineer, and I have invited him to be there on that night to listen, not to speak, to listen.
Okay,
And the reason I'm saying is to that, because I want him to say his spiel to me as a counselor, and I want somebody sitting in the audience that really understands the engineer and what is going on, because I already laid out a lot of stuff for him and showed him documents and stuff that I have of this water project and the prior water project.
okay. Well, and as I said, I think that's a different conversation, but, that's
But that is
entirely
at
up
night.
to you. If that's what you want to do. Just remember that as a city councilor, any information that you gain on behalf of things that we are determining, we need to share with all of the council.
Absolutely. Well, since we're bringing that up,
Yeah,
maybe we need to share a lot of stuff that the other night in the meeting, when I sat there in the meeting and I watched people putting notes back and forth, that kind of bothered me.
what note?
What meeting?
What
Council
meeting?
meeting you were in.
The notes
So when
back.
I watch Kevin Goldman write on a piece of paper and slide it to Rick, and Rick answered and put it back.
They're not counselors, and.
Right,
don't
but
see
staff,
anything.
when they're doing that, writing in front of Mr. Messina or you or anybody else, and you write a note, is that not public record?
If
So
staff
maybe-
has accepted it at
so-
a council meeting, then yes, it becomes public record.
So if I was a counselor sitting in that room, and just like with the texting, it used to go on, and I'm so glad that everybody wasn't texting the other day in this meeting, I'm very glad for that. Because any documents that I see from now on, if I see somebody texting a staff, I'm gonna ask to see what's on it. Because that's my right as a counselor and us as a body.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Gary?
Hey, just a moment, I'd like to return to what Kevin said about assessing the ethical conduct of our attorney, and you're absolutely 100% right, that's the way to do it. But my opinion is, if you're gonna terminate this lawyer anyway, just let it go. Let bygones be bygones, let it go. Personally, I think he acted unethically, but, you know, I could be wrong.
Is it ethical for us to let it go?
Yes.
If
Yes,
we know it's
yes,
wrong?
oh yeah. But if you make an ethical complaint, you're going to have to give evidence, you're going to have to testify, you're going to open up a can of worms, and if you're going to terminate this attorney, and if you are going to terminate the attorney anyway, then my suggestion is just let it go. If you're thinking about, well, maybe we want to keep him, then that's a different story, and I would like to make a case to you all to show you where and how I believe